Thanks very much indeed, Richard. You may not know, but Phil Lynott is with us. A soccer fan too, I gather.
Oh, well, TV watcher.
And a TV watcher. Which team?
Manchester United, the best.
Manchester United, yeah. Oh.
And good news for United fans this morning, of course, with the suggestion of Brian Robson's extension to his contract.
Yeah,
Do you get along much?
No, well, I have shares in them. I got some shares in Manchester United when Edwards went that time, so I see them more in London than I do in Manchester. And Steve Coppell used to get me a couple of tickets, so...
So you have a vested interest.
Yeah.
Being a Manchester City fan, of course, we may not get on.
Yeah.
I was going to say to you, make yourself at home, throw a few questions.
It is curable, you know.
I know that's not really fair, Manchester United fans, because most of them are really very well behaved.
I found that, though, most people in Manchester are City supporters, and it's the rest of the country like United.
I think you're probably right, actually.
That's actually quite true, probably,
Right.
isn't it?
Well, we're going to be talking to Phil throughout the programme, so stay with us while we take a short break.
Hello again, it's 20 to 8 and our guest of the day was once the wild and raunchy leader of top group Thin Lizzy. He's been celebrating his 34th birthday this week, so let's find out if age has tamed the man. Hasn't tamed your hair, has it?
No, I can't do a thing with
That's
it.
a fine head of hair you have there.
Yeah.
Now, it's a good year since Thin Lizzy's final concert. What have you been doing?
I've just been different stuff, you know, like I did a record with Junior. And,
He was lovely, he was our guest a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's
Really
got a
nice
smashing
guy.
voice, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I worked with an Irish folk band as well, and I formed a new band called Grand Slam.
And Grand Slam's been doing, some sort of small gigs to warm up,
Yeah,
as it
warm-up
were.
dates, yeah. We also played the farewell for Status Quo, and we're doing one at the weekend, another festival.
Isn't it a bit strange after being in a mammoth group like Thin Lizzy to actually be supporting a group like Status Quo now?
Well, no, not really. I find it really enjoyable to go back and play the small gigs. I mean, the big gigs, you have a great sense of power, but the small gigs have atmosphere. Obviously, I wouldn't like to be doing it for too long, but
We'll see how
I don't mind it.
Grand Slam goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As well as recording with Junior, you've also been recording with Chaz of Chaz and Dave.
Oh yeah, that was
Now, what can you have been doing with him?
that was a Christmas record for Roy Wood put together a medley of rock and roll hits, and Chaz played the piano, I played the bass, and Roy Wood and John Coughlin, who used to be the drummer with Status Quo.
Sounds a right lineup.
And we just sang all these old rock and roll hits, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Had a good jam session.
yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Now, how is your hearing? Because I remember at one time...
Pardon?
Yes, I knew that would come. I remember at one time that your doctor was very worried about your hearing because, I mean, literally, your music was so loud that you were seriously in danger of damaging your ears, weren't you?
Yeah, for a while, but, you know, it adapts, you know, you get wax or something. I don't know, my hearing's very good now.
It's okay now.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But at one time you were worried.
At one stage, we did about 3 gigs where we used about twice the amount of equipment, and I stood in front of, I ran out the front and I stood in front of the speakers and got a full blast, so I woke up the next morning, there was ringing in the ears. I said, hold on.
Yeah, it just shows
So
it really is
I went
dangerous.
to the doctor.
You seem to be settling down to a much more quiet, contemplative, I think is that the word, life. You brought in some of your books of poetry. Absolutely smashing they are too. I've been leafing through them. And this lady keeps cropping up in the book called Sarah. Now, who's Sarah?
Oh, Sarah's my daughter.
She's your daughter.
Yeah.
How old?
She's 5 3/4.
Very important, 3/4.
Oh, yeah.
And she's also your granny, Sarah.
Yeah.
Are they
And
watching?
she's 86.
Yeah, quite a difference. Are they watching?
Yes.
Now, let me see if I can find this Sarah, because everybody will recognise this. If I
Do
can find
you
it.
find writing poems easy, Phil? I mean, because you are a songwriter as well, does it come naturally?
Yeah, well, mainly the poetry is like the songs in a readable form.
Yes.
I started really like other people with a diary, you know, like a first girlfriend I had, you know,
Yes.
something about that, and then just took off from there with songs. So now for me, you know, to write poetry is like keeping the diary. I'm not very good at doing it day to day, so I just write something that summarises.
Honestly, some of this lovely.
We're having a rendering of it.
When you came into my life, you changed my world, my Sarah. Everything seemed so right, my baby girl, my Sarah. You're all I want to know. You hold my heart, so don't let go. You're all I need to live. My love to you I'll always give. When you begin to smile, you change my style, my Sarah. When I look in your eyes, I see my prize, my Sarah. You're all I want to know. You hold my heart, so don't let go. You're all I need to live. My love to you I'll always give. Of course,
Very
you can
nice.
hear the music there, can't you?
Very
'Cause
nice
it's,
indeed.
are they all set to music, these ones, or do you write poetry as poetry?
About 3/4 of this book is set to music, but some of them are just out now.
But you find the discipline of sitting down to do it difficult. I mean, you've just got to wait until it comes to you, do you?
Well, some of them have to meet the deadline, so they get abbreviated, you know, but most of them I like to sit down and get it the way I picture it, you know, so.
You certainly have a way with words, and I know that you just signed a deal with a publisher to write some short stories. We'll talk about those a bit later.
Right, but now we move on because it's time to visit the seaside. Each day this week we sent one of our reporters to a different resort around Britain. Welcome back. It's just after 10 to 8 this Wednesday morning, and if you're just joining us, a very good morning to you. Time for some birthday dedications, and Phil is with us to do the business, having picked one out of their cup already.
Well, this is for a Mr. S. French from 55 Burnham Road, Chingford, London, E4, 8PA.
We'd like to know his
Very
postcode.
important detail, yes.
He was born on August the 22nd in the year 1957, which makes him 27. And it's happy birthday, Steve, from your mum and dad and Greg.
Smashing.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, time now for some music, and we've chosen, of course, a song from Phil, our special guest this morning, so let's see King Cole.
Sort of dedication to the King, Elvis
Yeah.
Presley, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I was a big Elvis fan.
Now, who were the others in that video that we saw?
Well, that was Martin Knopfler from Dire Straits on the guitar, and Brian Downey, who was the drummer with Thin Lizzy. We did that about a year ago, though.
As a sort of tribute.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a smashing, smashing throaty song. Just to say, for a different type of music entirely, tomorrow is your last chance to enter our Let's Break competition of break dancing. The final heat is being held at the Brunel Rooms, Swindon, Wiltshire this evening. That's at the Brunel Rooms, Swindon this evening. And it's your last chance to enter. The 4 winners will be on TVAM all of next week. Remember the Brunel Rooms at Swindon. Do your little girls do the body popping and the break dancing and
Yeah.
everything? Because you've got to say hello to the other one, because you said hello to
Kathleen.
Sarah.
Yeah. Hi, Kathleen. So,
One thing I wanted to ask you, Phil, with no disrespect, aren't you getting a bit old to be a pop star these days? I mean, you're almost as old
He's
as me.
34.
Yes, I know, but I mean, it's getting on a bit for a pop star, isn't it?
yeah, I'm not really concerned about being a pop star, but I want to play music. And I find that when I do put on the guitar, that the feeling I get is aggression, so I'll be playing rock music for a while. I mean, they can stop coming to see me, I'm still going to jump up and do it.
You're doing it in your front room, yes.
In the mirror. Yeah.
That wasn't an aggressive song, though.
No, I mean,
But you were the wild man, weren't you? You sort of threw yourself
No.
about a bit.
well, I still do, but I mean, it's not particularly that I'm wild or anything. It's just that I feel it's a good way of getting rid of aggression, is with rock music and stuff like that. And I've always found it a good release.
So if you hadn't been a pop star, you could have been in real trouble, could you, Lynott? Yes.
Probably.
Should we go over to another bit of trouble?
Yes, indeed.
The Commander.
David Plantpot.
Oh.
Yes.
How troublesome can I be today? Well,
It's 18 minutes past 8. If you've just joined us, let me remind you, this is TVAM, and our special guest this morning is Phil Lynott. Ex-Thin Lizzy, now starting a new group called Grand Slam?
Yeah.
Grand Slam, that's right. But also a very quiet person privately who writes poetry. Now, not only do you write poetry, but I gather you've signed this deal with a new publishers to bring out a collection of short stories.
Yeah, well, it's always been a challenge there, you know, like with doing the songs and stuff. And so now I took a rough draft of some short stories in to the publishers, and they liked the
liked it.
idea.
Based on your life on the road, Phil?
Well, just based on the other side of showbiz, you know. Not so much the seedy side, but the side that people don't see.
So give us a clue.
Say, a day in the life of a roadie, or various girls you could meet on the road, or the story of 2 musicians, one that goes on to become very successful and one that doesn't.
Has that happened? Have you seen that happen in...
It happens all the time. I mean, just, I mean, for example, I mean, look at the thing with Kachaguga now, you know, like one could go on.
What with Lynott leaving?
Yeah, one could go and be more successful than the other. At the moment, they're both about equal, but you know, I mean, that type of situation could happen there, you know.
Are they stories that are going to shock young innocents like myself?
No, I doubt that.
I shouldn't think they'd shock you, John. But isn't it, you want to capture the atmosphere of the age, don't you?
Yeah, well, the idea would be, for example, is to use the language of the day in the rock business, which changes like every 6 months, you know. I mean, if you look at the young ones, you see sort of Neil used things like Far Out Man,
yes.
and it makes a period piece. So I thought some situations like that where, you know, it's that type of situation. So therefore it'll make it a period piece, like say a Scott Fitzgerald novel would become a period piece, and have the story just interesting enough to, not really to shock, just to tell the truth, just to, as opposed to sometimes, like I read an article yesterday about Boy George and Keith Richard or something, you know. Now, I doubt if that's the way it really went off. Well, one of the benefits of being in a band is that you'd have a clearer understanding of what really went on, and you learn to decipher what's a publicity story. And
certainly. Thin Lizzy were at the top during an extremely interesting period in the music business, weren't they?
That's right. Well, Phil's going to be staying with us, and we'll be talking to him throughout the programme, but right now we move on, because if you look up into the skies today, you might see something that hasn't been there for 25 years. Thanks very much, Steve, for that, Phil. My notes fell on the floor.
Bye. Over to John.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank you very much indeed, Roland. We've just got time to say thank you very much indeed to Neil Adams and his bride-to-be, Ali, getting married on Monday.
Thanks.
After that, what are the plans? I mean, you said you're going to retrain for the next Olympics.
Yep, I'll have a couple of months off and just kind of cruise along, and then I'll start my build-up then. We've got the British Championships at the end of the year, and then off to the World Championships.
And Phil Lynott has also been with us. You're off to Yorkshire to Nostell Priory, where you're performing on Monday, I gather?
Yeah, Friday and Monday, yeah.
Big gig?
Yeah, it's a good band.
Looking forward to it?
3-day festival. Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Smashing. Well, all the best to you and your new band, Grand Slam.
Cheers, thanks.
Reformed, or formed after the sort of breakup of Thin Lizzy. And have a smashing day on Monday.
Yep, I will do.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're going to stay sober?
I don't know about that. They've got something planned for my stag night, but I might not turn up yet.
Well, many thanks to you for joining us. That's it from Annie and myself. We'll be back tomorrow. A special thank you to two special friends who are leaving us today as well, Tony and Cecilia. It's been a great joy working with them. But we'll be back with Andrew Sachs, among others, so join us then. Bye-bye.